Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about whether the government can ever take away your free speech. Sounds interesting, right? So, can the government ever take away a person's free speech? Seems like one of those questions with a really obvious answer. I remember a little thing called the First Amendment, which specifically says, Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Now, I don't see any exception there, but let's get to the facts of the case to see what this is all about. And hey, use your freedom of speech to hit that like button for me before you forget. Charles Schenck was the General Secretary of the Socialist Party, and he oversaw the distribution of about 15,000 leaflets urging men to not participate in the military draft during World War I. Schenck was arrested and convicted for violating the Espionage Act of 1917, which made it a crime to cause insubordination in the military or to obstruct recruitment. It may surprise you to find out that the court ruled unanimously 9-0 upholding his conviction. They also determined that the Espionage Act did not violate the First Amendment and was in fact an appropriate use of Congress's wartime authority. And there we get to the important part, because Congress is definitely abridging people's freedom of speech, which the Bill of Rights clearly says it can't do. Well, the majority opinion kind of acknowledged this. Notice the quote. They're talking about when the nation's at war, things that you could normally say in peacetime, you might not be allowed to say during those war times. They would be suddenly things that no court could regard as protected by any constitutional right. So basically, the court here is making a really major exception because of the war. It's allowing Congress to restrict speech that it normally wouldn't be allowed to restrict. And this leads us to the constitutional principle, which is that there can be time, place, and manner restrictions on free speech. Now, the AP exam loves that expression, time, place, and manner restrictions, so I definitely encourage you to take note of it. Basically, it provides Congress with kind of a loophole that says that speech can be limited depending on where, when, or how it's being manifested. Now, in Schenck, the court ruled that any speech that created a clear and present danger could be restricted. In one of the most famous quotes from any Supreme Court opinion, Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "The most stringent protection of free speech would not protect a man falsely shouting fire in a theater and creating a panic." The question in every case is whether the words used are used in such circumstances and are of such a nature as to create a clear and present danger that they will bring about the substantive evils that Congress has a right to prevent. Now today, clear and present danger is no longer the current restriction on free speech. The court altered that in a 1969 case called Brandenburg versus Ohio and changed it to speech that's promoting imminent lawless action. So that's the new restriction. But 100 years later, Schenck versus US still matters today. This case established the precedent that is still used today to uphold time, place, and manner restrictions on free speech. This case is in sharp contrast to Tinker versus Des Moines, which 50 years later upheld and expanded free speech rights. So what do you think? Should Congress have the power to enact time, place, and manner restrictions on free speech? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Until next time, this has been a LaMoney production. Thanks again for watching. I really hope that it helped. If it did, help me out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you check out the AP Gov Ultimate Review Packet. I promise it'll make your life so much easier, and I made it, so you already know that it's awesome. Alright, I'll see you guys later.